This video is for entertainment purposes only. Today I'm going to put a clutch cable on my 2007 Honda VTX 1300r. I got the new cable here and I'm going to take it out of the package and compare it with the old one to make sure that it will fit. And the part number on this is 22870-MEA-670. And it appears I have the right cable, so I'm just going to loosen this jam nut here. And then I'm going to turn the adjuster all the way in. And that's going to give me a little play in the cable there. And now using a screwdriver and a 10mm wrench, I'm going to take the clutch lever off. There we go. And we'll just pull the clutch lever out. And now looking at the other end of the clutch cable there, we'll kind of zoom in a little bit. And I'm just going to measure the adjustment from the end of the cable here to the nut there, just for a reference. And we have roughly 5/8 of an inch. Now your bike might be different. And I'm going to loosen the jam nut down here. We have one wrench is 15mm and the other is 12. So we'll loosen that up. And that should give us more play in the cable. And now we're just going to pull the clutch lever out and roll it. And at the same time, the cable will follow right up into this slot. We'll roll it all the way over. And we'll pull the barrel of the cable out of the clutch lever. Just like that. And now I'm just going to screw the adjusters right out. And the cable will come out the little slot there. And then if we look here, we have a slot on the jam nut. And we have a slot in the adjuster, and we just align those all up. Pull those straight off the cable. So now we have the cable loose. Now we'll go back to the other end of the clutch cable, and we can disconnect that just by pushing it through the slot right here where it attaches to the actual clutch. And we just take the jam nut out. And now we can pull the rest of the cable off. I'll take a small screwdriver and just pry the clip open here. There's one of them. And we'll get the upper clip here. Okay, I have a wire tied to the cable with a tie strap. I'll have to cut that. And after that, my cable's loose and I can pull the old cable out like so. So now it's time to put the new cable in. We'll route it to the same path that it came out. And I'll just kind of tuck it a little bit into the holding clips there. And I'll just run the clutch cable through the holder, to the cable holder. Take my jam nut and start my jam nut. And I'll hook the end of my cable onto my clutch, just like that. All right. And now I've got my adjuster and jam nut. I got the groove lined up. Pull my cable out and run my cable through. And then I will run my cable through. And let me just start tightening this up here. I will run this all the way in. There we go. And now I'll take the barrel part of the cable and put it right in here in the clutch lever, running the cable up and in that way. So let's give that a try. Just like that, just like that. Let's see here. Yep, you're still in the picture here. So I will take the bolt, clutch lever bolt, and get that started. And we have the bolt started, so we'll just run her down with a screwdriver. So, and then we'll start the nut on the bottom here and run that up. So we have the cable installed now. Now it's time to adjust it. And if you remember, I had about a 1/2 inch or 5/8 of an inch to start out with on the old cable. So that's where I'm going to put the new cable. And that's going to get us kind of close on this end. That looks pretty good. And now using my 15 millimeter and my 12 millimeter, I'm just going to jam these nuts together here to hold this cable in place. So now what we'll do is adjust the free play, and that actually is a pretty important adjustment. And I'll try to explain it for those of you that don't know what free play is. So let's see if we can see what free play looks like. When I pull in the clutch lever, you can see I don't have any effort at all being used to pull the clutch lever. And we can see the gap here that's opening up. So right now, I'm taking all the slack out of the cable. I'm not actually pulling on the clutch itself. When I take up the free play and pull, I can really feel resistance now, pulling on the clutch lever. So in the case of not enough free play or no free play, we're going to feel the clutch lever start to pull hard right away. We're going to feel tension on that cable right away. When we release the lever, the clutch is actually still partially disengaged because there's no play in this cable. So it's actually pulling on the clutch lever down below and disengaging the clutch. And that can cause slippage and early wear. So in the case of too much free play, when the clutch lever is pulled all the way in, the clutch is not disengaged and it will make for hard shifting. And now to adjust the free play here, we're going to turn the adjuster out. And what we're going to look for is right around 3/8 inch of free play. And you can feel the looseness here. And then all of a sudden I can feel the tension as it's pulling on the clutch. So let me move that out a little bit more. And I'm going to say right here is pretty good. And then what I'm going to need to do is lock my jam nut down. And what that is going to do is that's going to keep your adjustment from changing. Now I'm going to take my screwdriver and make sure I tighten that screw right there. Okay, we'll tighten her down here. And with the screw tight, you want to make sure the lever still moves nice and free. And it does. And I'm going to take my 10mm wrench and tighten up the jam nut down below. And I better put a screwdriver on there and hold that. Okay, so this is kind of where I decided to keep mine, right here. I got about 3/8 inch, and then I really started engaging the cable. Now I kind of like to keep my adjuster here by the clutch cable fairly close to the clutch cable. I don't like my adjuster hanging way out, and so say you put your cable on and it was hanging way out like that, what we could do is adjust it on the other end of the cable. So let's go down there and look. So I can loosen these jam nuts here, and I can move this cable one way or the other, and depending on whether I need more adjustment at the clutch cable or less adjustment, you would move this either way. So to me, this is more of a coarse adjustment because you got a huge amount of adjustment there, where at the clutch you don't have quite as much. Now the last thing I got to do is put the clutch cable in the little plastic cable holders here. And we have everything routed pretty good. And now the last thing to do is probably the most fun thing to do, and that is to take it down the road for a test drive and make sure it shifts good. And I hope by watching this video you learned a little bit more about your bike and the clutch cable and how it works and the different adjustments. And of course, to end the video, I always have to say that I'm not a professional motorcycle mechanic, and my way might not always be the right way. With that being said, I hope you're able to get out today and do a little riding.